I'm Robert Kirchner. I live in Edmonton, Alberta. Well, I was finishing up my PhD at UCLA in Los Angeles. Shortly after I finished my PhD, I was hired here on a 2-year sessional teaching position, which then became a tenure-track position. Immigration was relatively painless. The university sent me a letter with a job offer, which I showed to the immigration officials when I arrived. My wife and daughter entered as visitors to Canada. We had a little bit of difficulty at first getting work authorization for my wife, but that was straightened out relatively soon.
Oh, to live in Edmonton is great. We have 2 children. When we moved, one was 3.5, the other one was 9, going into grade 3. And one of my first memories is finding a school and visiting the school, and the principal took us around, and there was no gate. Nothing was locked. It was just open, and it felt like such a welcoming and free place to raise children and go to school. So when we first moved to Canada, one of the ideas I had to document our experience here was to create calendars for our relatives down south. And I also have relatives in Switzerland. And so we took pictures of our little trips to Banff, or we spent 1 week in Missinippi, southern Saskatchewan. My older daughter did a week of horseback riding, so there's a picture of that. So we were just documenting our activities so that our relatives back home could see what life is like up here.
I find Edmonton to be a very human-sized city. It's big enough that it has a lot of cultural attractions, including a fine university, but it's small enough so that you don't feel you're in the midst of sprawl. Except for the winter, I generally bike to work. It's about a 10-minute bike ride. This is the University of Alberta where I work. As you can see, it's a lovely campus. This is one of the preeminent research institutions in Canada, and I'm very happy to be here. One difference that I've noticed between Canadian universities and American universities regarding tenure is that some American universities seem to take pride in a low tenure rate, as though that somehow indicates that they have tougher standards. Whereas in Canadian universities, it's my impression that the administration takes more of an attitude that if you were good enough to hire, they expect you to succeed, and they expect you to be able to make tenure unless you really don't work out, and therefore the tenure rate is higher here.
So here we are in downtown Edmonton. This is Churchill Square with City Hall at that end. The Public Library main branch, Citadel Theatre, Winspear Centre for the Performing Arts, which is the home of the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. And a lot of activity here. There's a festival going on right now, Taste of Edmonton. The Capital X was starting, and they had a parade just the other day. A lot of good stuff. So I work for the Edmonton Mennonite Centre for Newcomers, which is an immigrant serving agency, and we offer a whole spectrum of services. Right now, we're in one location called the Path to Employment, and this is where a lot of the bridging programs happen, which are for professional immigrants that move to Canada. And Luella is a colleague of mine who is the manager of these bridging programs, and I'll let her say a little more about it.
We work with folks from all around the world who have an engineering or accounting background and want to learn to practice that profession here in Canada. They can come to the Mennonite Centre for Newcomers, chat with any one of our counselors, and be referred to the programs if they are suitable.
Well, I think my family has really thrived here. The girls have both found very good friends, and they're active in their church community as well. And my wife has a real talent for just building community around her. So I think she'd do well wherever she were, but she's done particularly well here.
Oh, it's been a wonderful experience moving and living in Canada. It's the air is free. There's room. There's room to grow. There's room to explore. There's the mountains to the west, the prairies to the east, the United States to the south. It's a wonderful place to live, with a lot of opportunity and a lot of good things.